We're having some technical glitches going on here. Jonesy, my apologies. I'm sorry. I need to see them to get myself hyped up. But nevertheless, what's up, everybody? It's your boy JC. We're up here for the week 5 recap reaction show. What a slate! I am joined by my co-host, our commissioner Rhino. How are you, Rhino?
I'm doing good. It was a rough rough football day with the Rams and the Raiders, but you know,
Well, it
Rams have
was
excuses, Raiders don't.
it was definitely a rougher day for the Raiders than it was for the Rams.
Yeah.
We'll get to both games as they just concluded. The Rams, the Rams game. Look, they're playing a good football team in the Packers,
Yeah.
and we just spoke about it briefly. I mean, like they're missing personnel left and right. I mean, it's hard to overcome that. They've got offensive line issues. There's just so much that a Jordan Whittington and and a Kyron Williams could do on offense with Matthew Stafford behind a bad line. And look, their defense didn't play that terrible.
No, they didn't at all. They benched Tre'Davious White and they started Witherspoon and Darius Williams, and that made a big difference.
They did not play too terrible at all. Nevertheless, again, I think we should give more of the credit to the winning team, the Packers. The
Oh, big
Packers are
time.
the Packers are a pretty good football team.
They're really good.
Yeah.
They're solid.
All right. Well, folks, look, this was a I don't know, Rhino. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you'll agree with me here. Take our fandoms, our home bases teams out of the equation, and this was a pretty solid fantasy week 5. I
Oh,
mean,
big time.
big time. I mean, like, of course, we'll always going to see performances that aren't up to our liking, and
Yeah.
again, we'll get to some of those. Leading off, of course, is a couple of guys in 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 uh, in London, but there's always going to be some of those performances. However, whew, we saw some fireworks,
Yes, we did.
fireworks. And yeah, it was an excellent week 5, especially a couple of those 1 o'clock games, and then even carrying over to the late afternoon 4 o'clock games. They were no complaints out of me, especially from a fantasy standpoint. Look,
Yeah.
folks, I mean, unless you're an absolute maniac, sick human being that plays in the amount of fantasy leagues that I play in, you go with the ebbs and the flows of awesome performances and awesome fantasy squads that are doing really well right now, and then you accept the ones that aren't doing so well, and those players, you would have to be a real sick maniac to experience it like I do. But if you're a more of a normal human being that play in a couple of leagues, 2, 3 leagues, like a work league, a home league, and
Yeah.
maybe some other affiliated league, maybe a Scott Fishbowl charity league,
Yeah.
then well, I should say I hope that you have experienced like all the highs that we have experienced. Not
And
so
then the ebbs and flows of, because you've heard me when we talk back and forth about me complaining about injuries and all these players. And then I started realizing, well, when you have freaking 10 teams, you have a lot more. You have a lot more fantasy football players, and so the injuries are out. You have
you
so many,
do.
so many injuries.
You do. In a 10 team league, and we could talk. We could probably have a whole show regarding the strategies and the trials and the tribulations of the 12-team fantasy league
Yeah.
versus the 10-team fantasy league in terms of what specific to that topic of whether your players are injured, who's on the bench. You probably have a really nice bench, and you most definitely have a nice amount of players available to pick up in such binds and such
Yeah.
pinches. If you're playing in the 12 team, that to me at least That's kind of like that's the status quo. That's the average.
Yeah.
Then it's the opposite. Then it's on the other side of the spectrum. The 14 team league. Now that's definitely more
It's rough.
that's more brutal to you. Yes, it is.
Very, very rough.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Let me tell you what else was rough. Watching Aaron. Well, not me. Full transparency. I did not watch this game. You know, again, I stopped watching the London 9:30 games a while ago. Not necessarily because I feel like sleeping in, just because of the product on the field. The product on the field isn't as good when these teams are traveling uh, across the pond in a short time frame. Also, it's not like I don't think that they're going out there, in the middle of the week. They're leaving towards the end of the week, I think. Or every team could pretty much they make their own scheduling when it comes to that. Yes. However, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, the Jets didn't get in there till like towards the end of the week. I don't know about the Vikings.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
So how bad? See, because I watched. I had enough time before I left because I'm on the West Coast, so the game's on at 6:30. So I get up on Sundays and do my reading, and then go to church, do security for the 8 a.m. and then security for 9:30 service. So I got to watch like maybe 20 minutes of this game today, or of the morning game. It just, I don't know what. Is it Hackett that is the problem? Is it,
I don't think it's Hackett. I don't. They're he's too tired. Like they're a battery. Him and Aaron Rodgers. It's not. It's not. It can't be him being the play caller. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case at all. I think there's going to be a sentiment, a percentage of the fan base here that are going to say that Aaron Rodgers isn't playing like Aaron Rodgers. Well, I got news for you. News flash. I should have made this part of the ticker, folks. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, and he missed an entire age 39 season. Furthermore, Rhino, and I'm pretty sure you could back me up. If not, I could find my friend Sparky Sharky, and I've said it on his spaces plenty of times in the offseason. We weren't gonna see the 2021 Aaron Rodgers.
No.
We were going to see more of the 2022 Aaron Rodgers, and that's the Aaron Rodgers that threw around 10, 11 picks. Now he threw 3 today. You're gonna have a hard time winning a football game if you're gonna throw 3 picks. Doesn't matter where you're playing. It really doesn't. Another element of the game that I'd like to get to, which there's going to be a lot of there's going to be, again, a lot of talk regarding the fact that Breece Hall had a second poor performance.
But you're going against Minnesota's rush defense. Minnesota's rush defense they're good. So give them that,
So, okay, if the rush defense or Brian Flores is got the game plan in place, we're going to put all of our attention into stopping the focal point of the offense.
Yeah,
this should cause Aaron Rodgers to perhaps make errant throws, perhaps turn the ball over, and put us in a position to, be in an advantageous spot to perhaps win this game, which is exactly what happened. That focal point of the offense is Breece Hall. You take this part out of the equation, Aaron Rodgers has to throw the ball all over the place. He threw the ball pretty much, I don't want to say all over the place. I give you his total attempts. 20. I know Garrett Wilson was targeted 22 times.
Yeah,
that's fantastic, and he caught 12 of those, and he happened to have scored a touchdown. Very nice in the losing effort. He threw 54 attempts. Z Money, you hearing me? Are you hearing this? He threw 54 times because the running game was not available to the Jets. It's as simple as that. And I do want to get back to you, Donnie. I definitely did not miss this. A-Chain is unplayable right now. Well, for one, it did not help that the dude went out with a concussion or got his head bell rung, and he was ruled out of the game as I woke up. Well, no, that's not true. No, well, maybe. Yeah, when I woke up for the second time, actually. Yeah, he was ruled out of the game. All of a sudden, now we have a Raheem Mostert sighting and a Jalen Wright sighting. So those two running backs, they combined for like around 32 attempts, 32 carries. So they wanted to run the ball in this game against that New England Patriots team. I want to give Devon A-Chain a pass because of the injury here. Is he a borderline? Is he borderline now moving forward for week 6 with the concussion? Absolutely. But it's now still to be determined. Rhino, do you agree with that? Like, look, let's say he would not have gotten hurt in this game. He may have. I don't think we would have seen the same amount of attempts for Mostert or the same amount of attempts for Jalen Wright. I think Devon A-Chain would have gotten these attempps.
Yeah. I'm going to do a quick shameless shout out to Donnie too. This is my Square Circle Maniacs brother.
Oh, well done.
And if you're a wrestling fan, check out the Square Circle Maniacs podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You'll love it, man. You'll love it. So I just had to give them some love because they're my brothers, man.
But the Square Circle Maniacs podcast, which is also featuring Don Wayne, correct?
Don Wayne, yep.
Mr. Don Wayne, Mr. Don Wayne's Broncos. I'm gonna start calling him Don Nix. Don Jaleel. Don Little Jordan. How about Little Jordan Don? Yeah. Anyway. Z Money, I traded A-Chain. Saying that he's traded A-Chain and Mostert for Puka, for Xavier Worthy, for
That's a great trade.
For Bucky, aren't they? Well, it certainly is for Bucky. We're going to take another look at Xavier Worthy tomorrow night. And Puka's, you tell me, right now, how far along is Puka from returning?
Week 8.
And we're in week 5.
Yeah.
All right.
So the bye week, the Rams have a bye week next week, so there's a chance he might come back after the bye week. So week 7, but they're looking at more like week 8.
That could work out for you. That certainly can, especially in this PPR setting world that we all live in.
Yeah.
Although, I don't really think we're counting on Xavier Worthy to really eat up the targets or eat up the receptions. I don't think he's going to be a PPR monster in that sense. But I think we do agree that Xavier Worthy is going to be an explosive playmaker.
Yeah.
When his number's called, and I think that they're going to need to scheme it up for him. However, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes scheme it up for him. Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, and I know, this is tomorrow night's game, so I don't really want to spend too much on the actual game or the preview of the game. However, I think it's wide industry status for this week that Mahomes was a borderline starter. If you're in a 1 QB league, most in the industry were not starting Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
In any event, yeah. But that game will be tomorrow night. Nice Monday Night Football game. The Saints. I don't expect the Saints to win the game. However, why don't we move on to a game that did start on our normal United States time zones. Not much to write home about here in the Carolina Bears game, other than the fact that Andy Dalton returned to Andy Dalton status. That in turn didn't do too well for Deontay. I mean, what did Deontay Johnson do in this game?
3 catches for 50 yards, something like that. 3 or 4 catches.
Yeah, everyone that was on it.
Yeah, he's being covered by the number 1 guy. Now, what I take away from this game is
gotta start Deontay. Deontay, wide receiver 2. Gotta start Deontay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just want to. This is what I was hearing all week.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a Johnson guy, so. But DeAndre Swift has he found his way now? This is 2 good games in a row he's had. And with that, that's opening up things up for Caleb Williams. Williams looked good from what I can see. I was trying to pay attention to other games too at the same time, but
yeah, no, this wasn't a really watchable game. Like there were much better games to consume, if you will. Yeah, DeAndre Swift, excuse me, did put in back-to-back solid performances. He did score under 100 yards. Nevertheless, I think the Bears have established the fact that they are committed to running the game. That they want to use DeAndre Swift. They want to use Roschon Johnson. That's exactly what they've been doing now for the last 2 weeks. It's taking pressure off of Caleb Williams, who put in a solid performance again. 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. No picks.
His chemistry with DJ Moore is pretty sweet.
DJ Moore, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the party. Week 5, 105 on 8 targets,
2 touchdowns, right?
2 touchdowns, 5 catches. 5 catches. 2 of them happen to have been the ones that you want the most, the touchdown. Yes, DJ Moore, welcome to the show. Again, much to kind of the chagrin of those that are wanting Roma Dunes to be solid or valuable starters for your rosters, especially if you're in deep leagues. I know I've got him on a couple of rosters. I believe in the talent, but DJ Moore has been playing in this league for a while, and I don't know, do you buy into the fact that maybe we shouldn't have discounted the fact that DJ Moore was playing the Panthers? I mean, like, aren't we removed enough from that crap?
Yeah.
The revenge against the Panthers. I mean, we're enough removed from that.
Yeah,
DJ Moore is in this league now for what, 5-6 years, at least 6 years, 5 years. He's a talented wide receiver that was going to exploit the Carolina Panthers secondary,
as he should.
As he should. Cole Kmet contributed with 57 yards on 5.
Keenan Allen didn't have a very good game. I know that, but he's still coming off injury a little bit. So
yeah. Keenan Allen's gonna have a lingering foot heel issue for the remainder of the season, most likely. That's not someone that you're going to want to count on. If that's someone that you're still rostering on your fantasy teams, folks, you could probably say goodbye to him. There was never going to be enough mouths to feed in this offense anyway. I'm sorry. Well, there's the Wolf. I did get the Wolf's text message. Appreciate you, Wolfie. Try to get a Wolfie comment up here. You were sitting Deontay if you didn't have a better option. No one should have that. This was a good matchup for him. It was a Dalton back to earth game, strong Chuba matchup. It was certainly, absolutely. Look, if you were starting Dalton Schultz, Dalton Red Rifle. If you were starting the Red Rifle today, you were in, for lack of a better word, more in a desperation type of situation. Yeah. Where you really don't have a viable, solid quarterback to have inserted, or you're down injury, whatever the case may be.
I hope that's the case for some people. Some people thought, oh, this is a good matchup, and we're going to start Dalton, then that's on them.
That's absolutely on them. Absolutely on them. Some other anything else to note regarding this game? I mean, again, I did mention that the commitment to the run. Yeah, so Roschon did get into the end zone twice. It's interesting in terms of fantasy running back scoring this week in the top 10. I believe I saw across the red zone ticker that DeAndre Swift was in the top 10, and so was Roschon Johnson. And that's exactly what the Bears want to do. They want to. They need to have a balanced attack for Caleb to succeed in the passing game. It's as simple as that, really. Georgie boy. That's from Blow, by the way. Totally a Blow reference. Georgie boy. George Play. What's up, my friend? Someone offered me CMC, who's coming back probably after their week 9 bye,
Yeah.
and Chris Olave for Jordan Mason and JSN. Well, JSN just scored a late touchdown in this game. Otherwise, didn't do jack. Interesting enough, though, you would want to monitor Tyler Lockett's or what to my eye looked like Tyler Lockett may have gotten hurt on one of his plays in the fourth quarter. Nevertheless, Rhino, do you like this deal for George?
See, offer me. I wouldn't touch CMC. Is this a dynasty league or? I wouldn't touch CMC. I would keep Mason. I mean, okay, so someone offered me CMC in the lobby for. I would keep Mason and JSN. My other running back is Barkley, and geez, you got some freaking good running backs, man. I like Mason for throughout the season. Even when CMC comes back, it's going to be probably like a 55-45 or 50-50 split, if anything. Or they might use CMC more as a third down back.
That's okay. All right, so there's the $1 million question, Rhino and George, because this is really for George. Well, it's not for us. Although, as a Jordan Mason owner, Rhino may have Jordan Mason as a CMC owner on another team without Jordan Mason. Okay, so I'm all over the place. I'm fully across this spectrum. If we believe that CMC is going to at least be active, make the return after their bye week, come week, what would that be? Week 10, week 11, sometime in November? All right, week 11. Your fantasy playoffs are now week 15. Is CMC going to give you enough winning production between week 11, 12, 13, 14, 4 weeks? I don't make this deal now, George. I don't. No. I don't want to make this deal now. I want to continue to ride with the guy that's filling in for CMC. Their lead running back
quite well too.
Their lead running back. Now you notice that Isaac Garendo did get some work in today. Yeah, that's okay though. That's okay. You can't give Jordan Mason 70 carries in a ball game anyway. Nevertheless, Arizona played them tough. Don't get too discouraged. Jordan Mason looked good. He did fumble the ball. That's not going to take his job away either, just because they're thin at running back. I wouldn't make that deal, George. I want to keep the San Francisco 49ers running back for now.
Let me add one more thing, too, with the CMC thing. Coming off 2 Achilles tendonitis, both of his Achilles tendonitis. One bad move, one playing on a shitty field,
re-aggravated,
done. So when he does come back, he's going to be on a count, a touch count. They're not just let him go out and have 20 touches a game. That would be smart. Especially if they're thinking we're going to make the playoffs, so we need CMC help for the playoffs. Which at this point, I don't know what.
That's what I was kind of implying in terms of like what type of quote unquote winning production are we going to get from CMC even when he does return?
He's in a redraft non-PPR.
So I mean, again, I would think that look, CMC returns. It's going to cut into Mason's snap share, regardless. How much is it going to cut into? Again, that's more or less the $1 million question that we're all looking to. We're all speculating on. You know what? Nobody knows but freaking Kyle Shanahan. Let's not kid ourselves here. Nobody knows what that snap percentage is going to be like until it happens. Number 2, we might as well just take it right back to the present. I want to keep the 49ers running back right now.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Should he trade Mason for A-Chain? No. It's too crowded of a backfield with Miami.
Not even what Devon A-Chain is in jeopardy of missing next week now.
Yeah.
The Dolphins' offense is anemic. No, I'm gonna keep Mason, my friend. We're gonna ride with Mason. If you're really looking to offload Jordan Mason, we're gonna want to try to offload him to somebody like try to buy Breece Hall right now.
Yeah.
If you're finding the owner that might be down on Breece Hall, could you imagine try to pull that deal off? Try to get Bijan Robinson for Jordan Mason right now. Now that's something that I would endorse. Jonesy may endorse that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we need to talk about the Bengals Baltimore game.
Oh, do we?
Yes, we do.
So let me tell you something here.
Talk to me.
A lot of people were running from the hills because Jamar Chase wasn't practicing in training camp. He wasn't in training camp.
Right.
Oh, he got off to a slow week 1 start. Oh, no. The Bengals look bad. Oh, no.
Burrow looks bad.
Nobody in this league is better than Jamar Chase.
Nobody. And
that includes Justin Jefferson. Now, again, that's not to slight Justin Jefferson. That's not to poo-poo his skill, his talent. But no one is that type of wide receiver. This guy that where he really just there's a hard time tackling him, and whether it's at the catch point, whether it's forget about if it's in the open field, open space, because then he's gone. Because we saw 2 of those today. No one's better than Jamar Chase. Now, unfortunately, the Bengals have themselves a problem. They do. Joe Burrow threw for. Oh my God! I mean,
354 yards.
Right, Rhino. I mean, it doesn't get any sadder than this. It really doesn't. If you're a general shiesty owner, you love it. You love it all day long. You love it. You do handstands on it, and you win your fantasy matchup for the week if you have Joe Burrow.
Yep.
If you're the Cincinnati Bengals and you have Joe Burrow and he throws for 392 yards and he throws 5 touchdowns, only 1 pick, the Bengals lose.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me touch on something too and see what you think. I was talking to my best friend comes over. He's a Broncos fan, but he comes over and starts to watch football and stuff. And I was telling you, everybody thinks that like Tyreek Hill and Water are like the best duel, one of the best duels in the NFL. Nobody can touch them. I think Higgins and Jamar Chase are the best wide receiver duel in the NFL. They're both big. They're both fast. They're both strong.
It's true.
Neither one of these teams' defense showed up, or has been showing up. So what's going to happen when these teams play like the Steelers, who have actually a good defense?
Well, I mean, I could tell you what's going to happen. You're not going to see these types of fireworks.
No.
But again, like, okay, fine. The Ravens are no slouch on defense. We know this, okay? Marlon Humphrey is attempting to guard one of these guys or is attempting to guard them in a zone. And still, the Bengals were capable of lighting up the Ravens. It's just a matter of fact that the Ravens were able to keep up and eventually outscore the Bengals. But that's a different story. That's a different side of the ball. That's why the Bengals have themselves a problem, because it doesn't matter what the what it doesn't matter what their offense does. They can put up another 20 points. Their defense can't stop anybody. That's the real issue. But back to what's going to happen if T. Higgins and Jamar Chase happen to go up against a formidable secondary, a defense that's really going to have a fantastic game plan for them. And I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Yeah. It will. They're not going to continue to score at this type of clip. What's going to happen? The Bengals are going to lose.
Yeah.
They're probably going to lose because that other team, all they need to do is just score one more point more. And that's the issue. The Bengals have themselves a problem. The other problem with the Bengals is this also. They can't continue to get out of the gate slow like they do. So now they're playing from behind. They are 1-4. They're playing from behind again, and that's not a good spot to be playing from. So they'll maybe get to 500 if they win the next 3, but then they may drop 2. Then they'll have to get back to 500, and when it's all said and done, it's going to be the end of the season. They'll be 9-8, and they'll miss the playoffs.
Do you know? Did their defense coordinator leave too? I know they have a new offense coordinator.
Did the defensive coordinator? Well, let me put it this way.
If not, the defense coordinator is in a hot seat.
Let me put it this way. Did he leave because he was fired? Because now he's out of a job? Because if he was the coordinator last season, it wasn't like there's not much difference between last year and this year. So I mean, it seems to be. Again, I'm not going to go back historically 10 years. We could go back to last year, maybe 2022. They have trouble with their defense. That's a problem in this league. Even the likes of a team that we're going to see now tonight in the Steelers, who don't score a lot of points. All they need to do is just score a few more than the next team. As long as the Pittsburgh defense, when the game does come, all that defense needs to do is just put the clamps down on Jamar, T. Higgins. And yes, back to are they the best 1-2 wide receiver in the game right now? Wide receiver duo group? Probably.
I think so.
Probably.
All right. Nino. Thank you for joining. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Hit the notification so you don't miss our DFS show and our Start and Shit show. Start and Sit, not shit. Jeez.
That's what watching the Rams will do to you sometimes. Yeah. It's okay. We get it. We get it. 16:45 fantasy tonight. Full PPR. Stressing over here. You need so he can't score 16.46.
He needs under.
All right. Well, I got good news.
That's good news because the fact that Micah Parsons is out, I believe, and Dexter Lawrence is out.
I'm glad that you bring that up. I wanted to touch up on that in a second. But I got good news for Nino and I got bad news for Nino. The good news is that he's been held under 100 yards in all of his games so far, Najee, right? He hasn't gone over 100 yards. I think he's been below that threshold in the last 4 games. I think full PPR, right? I'm pretty sure. I may be wrong. He may have one game that may have gone over that. So that's the good news. The bad news, Nino, is it's only Najee tonight. I don't even count Cordero Patterson. And the Cowboys defense is not in a good way. They're not in a good situation to perhaps put the clamps down on Najee.
Yep. And he's getting the short intermediate passes that Jalen Warren would get.
What it is, full PPR. Hold on a second. Let me try to find a normal. I say, Nino, because most of my leagues are not normal.
If I have my phone, I can pull up my phone's together.
A normal PPR. This is a normal PPR league. Don't worry about, folks. Think about think about doing some charity leagues in 2025. You've got the Scott Fish Bowl, which will be Scott Fish Bowl 15 next year, and you've got the Warrior Bowl, which will be Warrior Bowl 2025.
And
Anyway,
too.
Battle of the Sexes. Well, yeah, there are plenty of charity leagues that are really cool, really fun, and it's just really for bragging. Nino, we're getting Nino the projection. Najee. Come on. Could you imagine if he was on my team and I had a search? Could you imagine that?
Yeah. I can leave with him and look.
He's projected to go over. He's projected to go over by a point or two. It's going to be close, my friend. It's going to be close. And on the Dallas defensive situation, Michael Parsons being out. Michael Parsons is not really responsible for stopping the run anyway.
No, but Dexter Lawrence is.
Yeah, but so okay, so right, it's 50-50. It's not like okay, they are missing two huge pieces that are responsible for putting the clamps down on the running game. It's not like oh shit, Najee Harris should have a field day running through this line. Michael Parsons isn't really responsible. He's not that type of linebacker.
No, but their defense hasn't been stopping the run very well this season.
Well, and that's kind of like on the side. That's right. So that's kind of like where okay, Najee is expected to have a pretty good game. It's going to be close. Right now, Nino's got him at 16-45. We have him at 17. It's going to be close. I'm hoping that you pull it out, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you pull it out. What else? What else on the Ravens? Oh my gosh, Ravens Bengals. So yeah, besides that, Chase went nuclear again. T. Higgins found the end zone. We have Jamar Chase's brother, Chase Brown. Had another good game, 46 on the ground.
It looked like Zach Moss got hurt too, but then he came back.
That's correct. Right on cue. Also, he's losing his job, but we already knew that. We already knew that. We knew this.
We're staying true to it. We're staying true.
Look, we may have missed by a mile with Zamir. It doesn't look like we missed with Chase.
No.
And I mean Chase Brown. So Chase Brown did add it in the passing game, correct? He did catch 3 balls, and one of those was a touchdown.
Yes,
that's what we want. The Ravens. So the Ravens, most teams carry 2 to 3 tight ends, and 2 to 3 tight ends that are going to be active on game day. The Ravens had 3 active tight ends today. 2 of them happened to score. The other one didn't. The other one happens to be Mark Andrews. That's it. We're going to leave it right there.
Yeah.
There's got to be something wrong. There's got to be something wrong because there's too much of a body of work out of Mark Andrews to suggest that you just don't lose the ability to play the position in terms of playing the position in a pass catching ability.
Yeah.
Forget about in a blocking capacity. Like something's got to be wrong if Isaiah Likely got into the end zone again. The other dude caught a 55.
Yeah, and Collar's been and every game this season so far, Collar's had like 3 or 4 targets and 2 or 3 catches. So, and Harbaugh made some comments this week about that's just the flow of the game, and sometimes he needs to stay and help block and blah 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 blah.
It's horseshit. Excuse my language.
Just
that's horseshit. There's something else going on.
If you were a team that maybe was hurting that tight end, would you try to reach out and see if they'd be interested in trading for Andrews?
No, not. I wouldn't do that right now. No. You're seeing that there are there are more viable streaming options as far as I'm concerned. I mean, like, look, perfect example. Just to give myself another option based on how my matchup was going to go leading into this game tonight. I went to go get Jawan Johnson, who we may think could get more involved now that Taysom Hill's going to miss another game. Mark Andrews does not look playable at all. I wouldn't drop him if I'm holding Mark Andrews. If I'm the manager that drafted Mark Andrews, I'm not going to drop him because you still want to hold out hope that this is going to turn around. We hear some nonsense like we did with Tony Pollard last year at the end of week 9 after he scored finally. Oh yeah, my ankle's now finally starting to feel better. I don't know if we're going to hear that coming out of this camp with Mark Andrews and the Ravens. However, I don't want Mark Andrews. Who am I giving up for Mark Andrews? I would say the last guy on my bench is probably more valuable right now than Mark Andrews.
Yeah,
I don't want Mark Andrews.
Zay Flowers had himself a game today too. 7 catches for 111 yards.
Weren't we thinking about Zay Flowers on the DFS show with our guy AB Goat? By the way, the DFS show, the FanDuel DFS show on Friday night is fire. I'm pretty sure we came away with another winning lineup. I don't want to check it on the show because I feel like I might jinx it.
Yeah,
I'm very superstitious like that. I am superstitious. I'm a superstitious shepherd of you goats. However, I think we did come away with another winning lineup. Isaiah Likely, 3 catches, a whole 13 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's pretty damn efficient.
Yeah.
Justice Hill, no action in the receiving game. Justice Hill, not too much action on the ground. Lamar on the ground, 55 rushing yards. Lamar Jackson, 4 passing touchdowns, 26 for 42. That's an MVP type of game.
Yeah.
That's an MVP type of game. All right, we've had enough there. This was a really good game. Not the same type of high scoring fireworks, but the Bills did lose to the Texans 23-28. Folks,
Allen got hurt.
Now, did he?
I don't know if he can't see because I was watching other games too because there's some tight games.
No.
He was out of the game for a little bit because he got hit.
Okay.
So I don't know if he finished the game or not. But
so there's there's a report that's surfacing that Josh Allen did receive smelling salts, probably based on this said hit that you're referring to.
Yeah.
If that's the case, was Josh Allen concussed? Did he get a concussion on one of these plays? He didn't miss any time. He didn't miss any snaps.
He did? Okay.
Nope.
I saw him get hit and then them take him out. Then
that's something to perhaps pay attention to. Now, nothing's really like nothing will happen to Josh Allen other than perhaps his health. It's not like he'll get fined or he'll get suspended. Just something to pay attention to. Josh Allen, nevertheless, though, may have gotten hit.
It wasn't quite the Dalton Kincaid game that I was thinking and hoping.
I did see one nice play with Dalton Kincaid. Unfortunately, that's the only play that I saw with Dalton Kincaid was one nice play. I did see one nice play with Keon Coleman.
Yeah, that was a really nice play.
Unfortunately, that was the only play that I saw with Keon Coleman that scored. So that was good. Yeah, Dalton Kincaid had 2 catches for 34. The scoring touchdown, the lone touchdown pass from Josh Allen was to Keon Coleman. After that, James didn't really cook in the air, 17 yards. He did kind of cook on the ground, 82 yards on 20 carries with a touchdown. You'd like to see that out of James Cook. Nevertheless, the Texans did beat them by 3. Why don't we take a look?
Have you heard anything about Nico?
Hamstring. Yeah. Other than that, no.
Was it just tweaked, or is he out now? That was a beautiful throw too. That freaking he hit him with. God.
He didn't return to the game. We know that. Cam Akers. 9. You know what? It was Cam Akers on one hand, Tyrone Tracy on the other. We went with Tyrone. You better call Tyrone. You remember that? You remember that song?
No.
You don't remember that song by Erykah Badu? Come on.
Who?
Erykah Badu.
Nope. I'm a old school.
Look,
80s punk, 80s alternative, 80s rap, grunge, and Christian music. That's my country music.
If I really wanted to get creative right now, I would try to whip up the GIF. But you don't know the song, so then forget it. Nevertheless, Cam Akers, 9 carries for 42 on the ground with 1 score. Dar Agunbawale added 30 yards on 15 carries. Now, folks, that's not efficient, actually. That's averaging 2 yards. Stephon Diggs, 80 yards. Okay, on 8 targets. Not bad. Nico did score in the contest. Only on 2 catches.
Did Tank Dell get any? I didn't see any stat lines for Tank Dell.
He caught 4 balls for 38 yards. Now, Tank, folks, if you're a Tank Dell manager, you're paying more close attention to Nico Collins' status than you are Tank Dell's, because if Nico Collins is okay and it wasn't that serious of a hamstring injury, I don't think we could go with Tank Dell in regular PPR or half PPR formats at this time. Only again, I'm not sure what the bye situation is for next week, but in a bye situation or if you're injury ravaged, other than that, I don't think Tank Dell is really a good start at this time, unfortunately. Yeah. Other than that CJ Stroud's lone touchdown was to Nico Collins. That's it. That's all she wrote there. Yeah. It was a 22-3. I mean, look, 23-20, 1 possession game, under a touchdown. That's a pretty solid game. Yeah. That's a pretty solid game. Would we have liked to have seen, matching 300 yards and 2 touchdowns a piece from both quarterbacks and fireworks and all that? No, I mean, yes, of course we would have. It's just you don't get that.
This is kind of 2 bad games for Allen. Well, not bad games, but not Josh Allen's standard games. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Much like our fantasy games, how many teams are going to ebb and flow.
Yeah.
I feel it's the same thing with the quarterback, with the elite quarterbacks. We can't expect them to have 17 straight games of just absolute ceiling breaking freaking fire. Same thing for the running back. Same thing for the wide receivers. We should expect Chase's, to come back down to mortal status. We should expect that. Yeah, I mean, we should expect Breece Hall to turn in a 140 on the ground for 2 touchdowns. We should expect these things. It's an ebb and a flow. Ebb and a flow. That's it. The Eagles coming out of the bye that will return A.J. Brown, that will have Devontae Smith. We should expect the Eagles offense to be back on track at least for a game or 2, and then again you get that flow from the ebb. That's just the way I look at it. Again, that's just the way I've experienced it. I'm pretty sure that's the way you've experienced it in your career of doing this. My career of doing this.
It's about finding the right ebb and flow. Colts Jacksonville.
How about this? First things first. Hats off to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hats off to Duval for getting in the win column, right?
Yeah.
Hats off to them. Okay. Trevor Lawrence has been playing better. Yes.
They found a real one with Brian Thomas Jr. They found a real one with Brian.
They've got themselves a nice young wide receiver too.
Somebody that you don't take out of your lineup. I don't think.
No, I think we could. You could feel good playing Brian Thomas Jr. right now. Absolutely, without question. You could even kind of feel good about Kirk, depending on your situation, depending on your roster. I think, look, love him or hate him, he's like that. Like Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk have that type of connection. Like Trevor Lawrence will always know what the hell Christian Kirk is doing, and Christian Kirk is always going to know what the hell Trevor Lawrence is about to do. So you can't discount that. Trevor Lawrence doesn't really know what the hell Brian Thomas Jr. is really doing at all times yet.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, right. Nevertheless, 122 on 5 catches.
Yeah.
It's a good game and a score. Christian Kirk did contribute his 4 catches for 88. Good game.
What was Etienne's line compared to Bigsby's? Because I know Etienne, didn't he get hurt again too and come back in?
Yeah, this is going to be trouble. This is going to be big time conundrums, as some of us like to call it.
Yeah.
The Travis Etienne owners, whether he's injured or not, he rushed the ball 6 times for a grand total of 17 yards today.
And Bigsby went off again, didn't he?
Bigsby went over 100, slightly over 100 for 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Travis Etienne had 6 catches for 43 yards on 7 targets. So, the 7 targets to the running back in this situation, I get, because, look at this score for Christ. Look at the score. But there's a serious issue going on now with Travis Etienne and whether he's losing his job. Look, how about, let me put it this way. If Doug Peterson is in danger of losing his job, so is Travis Etienne. Yep. Doug Peterson is going to try to keep his job. Yep. If that means that there's a potential better option running the ball for the Jacksonville Jaguars, he's going to ride with that running back. Now the $1 million question is, do you have him? Is he available in your league? If he's available, then he's a top priority, top waiver ad. I believe he was part of the main waiver run last week, wasn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was. He's going to be rostered, or he's going to be available probably 30-40% still available in most leagues. If you're watching this, folks, you're going to want to get Tank Bigsby on your team at this point. If you're watching this, folks, also please like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Thank you. Look at Joey Flacco. Hey, man, father, he's turning back father time. Yeah. God bless him. Now, so doing this last season, coming off the couch, kind of was not a fluke. He still has it. He still has it if he's doing it with another team now. 3 touchdowns, 33 for 44, 350 yards. Again, this was a back and forth shootout. Trey Sermon, who we knew was replacing JT, along with Tyler Goodson. They had the ball a combined 15 times for a combined, let's say, 40, 60, 64, 64 yards and a touchdown. Trey Sermon got the touchdown. Fantastic. When Jonathan Taylor's back, you know what to do with Trey Sermon. He's just not serviceable. Alec Pierce, for crying out loud.
Lord, that catch he did.
Alec Pierce, man. Look, this is his third year, the third-year breakout. Alec Pierce, ladies and gentlemen, 3 catches, 134 yards, and 1 touchdown. This dude only gets the long ball. There's no short game. There's no short out routes. It's only the deep go ball for Alec Pierce, and whatever, he catches them. Josh Downs, again, 12 targets, 9 catches, 69 yards. Not bad. Not bad. If you're in PPR, that's a good game. What did Pittman do? Pittman scored.
Yeah.
He scored on 5 catches for 37 yards. Not good. Not good.
No.
But the touchdown saves you there.
Anadai Mitchell had a couple of catches too today for like 45 yards or something like that.
Yes, 4 catches for 38, 7 targets. Well, let me ask you something, Rhino. Is there a quarterback controversy here
No.
in Indianapolis?
No. No.
That's pretty. There's conviction with that. No. Do they perhaps not rush Anthony Richardson back?
I don't think they rush him back. No.
Okay.
No. They're going to make sure he's 100% physically, mentally. Then they'll bring him back.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Also, I think that's the case. I don't believe that all of a sudden
I think
they win this game. So what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
They really didn't win this game. So it's not like saying, well, you gotta ride with the hot hand, the winning hand. They didn't win.
No.
What they need to do is get Anthony Richardson right. They did Anthony Richardson. The reports all throughout this week were like Anthony Richardson's in pads watching Flacco. Well, hopefully that translates into something.
Yep. Hopefully.
All right. Well, Rhino, let's get through some of these. We've got the Browns.
Jaden Daniels, he's it. He's him.
We got the Browns here for
Browns
13. Look,
the Browns are in a conundrum because if they can't if they bench Winston, the team's going to rally around him like they rally around Flacco. Then how can they justify the trade? They're what, $45 million guaranteed to Watson? What do they do?
I think we're at the point where they gotta wash their hands. They got if
okay.
Let me put it.
That would mean they have to set their pride aside and say we screwed up. Now, will they be able to set their ego aside to do that for the better of the team? They better because. It's ugly, and me. It's funny because me and Jonesy were every question last night. He is pro Browns, and I was like, nope, I'm not touching a Browns player. I'm not. I will not touch a Browns player. They're not reliable. I mean, Amari Cooper had 6 catches for 42 yards. Hey, nice.
Well,
good job, but it's ugly.
Again, a lot of we know that many in the NFL / fantasy community are calling for, the benching of Deshaun Watson, bring in, let's see, Jameis Winston. I bet you we can rally around. It's not just us here or Jonesy. Many across the board. Now, I don't think it would be a case of, all right, yeah, we're going to take the L. We were wrong. You're never going to hear. You're never going to get a press release from the Browns saying anything along those lines. Like, hey, by the way, sorry, we got this one wrong. It'll be spun completely differently. B, winning cures everything. So if that's the case, you better be damn sure that Jameis Winston is an upgrade to a Deshaun Watson. And if it's not, it would look potentially worse for the Browns, and they're digging themselves in a deeper hole if they were to have to revert back to Deshaun Watson. It's kind of like what happened with the Jets last year with Zach Wilson. You bench Zach Wilson, you go to some Joe Blow. Joe Blow is worse than Zach Wilson. You had to go back to Zach Wilson, and then Zach Wilson almost didn't want to go back in the game. Yeah. He didn't want to start. And it took Rodgers convincing him to get back out there. So it's actually a very slippery slope. Is there PR involved? Yes. But you got, in terms of personnel, you're going to have to make sure that Jameis Winston is really an upgrade. And now I do want to play a little devil's advocate. And I'm not the biggest Deshaun Watson fan, both fantasy, football, and personal. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
In the last 2 weeks, there's been at least 20 points left on the table that he's not responsible for. A wide receiver penalty. Jerry Jeudy today dropped it in the end zone. And then I think there was another one that was either called back or dropped for what would have been a touchdown last week. So there were scoring opportunities that Deshaun Watson really, technically, he's not responsible for. Now, again, yes, this is a team sport, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we know that. However, Jerry Jeudy inexplicably dropped a wide open touchdown today. Wide open. Amari Cooper, there was a penalty. I'm not sure last week what the penalty was. Amari Cooper's play called back. So it may have been an offensive holding or some shit, whatever the case may be. It's not really all on Deshaun Watson, is my point. Now, I think they're also going to see what Nick Chubb brings to the table. So, with that said, and
I hope you don't get their hopes up with Nick Chubb.
With that, well, I'm just saying that he's going to come back.
I know. I know he's coming back.
We already know that he's coming back.
People think he's coming back and going to be rushing for 120 yards on 13, 14 carries. I don't think so.
And also,
they can't rush him back.
What? Well, it's not that if they open the practice window for him, then it's really not. He's not being rushed back at this time. That's the way I'm looking at it. It's like, okay, like in other words, if let's say I'm only 75%. In this window that they have, this practice window, this 21-day window, he's not going from 75 to 100 in that short amount of time. He must be damn near close to 100%.
Yeah.
So it's now just a matter. Now it's being in game shape, in my opinion. It's being in game shape. I think they're going to want to see what Nick Chubb brings to this table, brings to this offense. They're going to want to take a look at that. And I think they're also taking a look at the fact of what I just pointed out, that there's 20 points that were left on the table.
Okay.
In any event, Commanders look good. Dwami Brown, ladies and gentlemen, caught the pass. The Cardinals pulled off the upset late in the game.
A lot of every time I looked up, somebody on one of the teams was making a defensive play, a fumble recovery, an interception, or something on both teams. Cardinals are sneaky good.
Well, they played sneaky good with like the last 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
That's for sure. They looked real good in the first 2 minutes of the game. They looked real good in the final 2 minutes of the game. Everything in the middle of that, they did not look good. But neither did the Niners really at home. The Niners really didn't look that good either, except for Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, he had his breakout game.
Brandon Ayuk looked good, absolutely.
And Mason looked good too,
Which, again, the Niners, that was a close one that they dropped the bag late in the game.
Yeah.
Is CMC supposed to, is that game one because CMC's on this team? I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't, that's tough.
No.
Mason did fumble, but still. Yeah. Look,
it's okay, man. Okay.
I know that these are back-to-back. These are your back-to-back guys.
I know.
It's not really set up.
I'll be quick with the Raiders.
It's not set up like this on purpose.
I know that, dude. I know that, man. Don't worry about it, bro.
I know.
Don't worry about it. I called the Broncos. I told my best friend that the Raiders got their asses handed to them today. They're outclassed. They don't. I can't put my finger on it. going on. They brought O'Connell in. I don't think that's the answer. You know,
Well,
they're sorry. They're a sorry team right now. That's that's all I can say. It hurts to say it, but they
they're underperforming. Their skill position players aren't. I mean, to say that they don't have talent, I don't want to go that far. They're mid. They're average. Jacoby Myers is maybe a tick above average. I don't know. Tucker, again, we're asking a young man to now to now just be able to get open, to make contested catches,
Yep.
to create for his quarterback in a very short amount of time. Obviously, for 2 seconds worth of time. They don't have good running backs now.
No.
Their defense, Max Crosby, Wilkinson got hurt in this game.
Yeah.
So their line, they have line trouble. Yeah, it's tough right now. It's tough.
And you would think with Getsy as an offensive coordinator, he'd look what he has and game plan with what he has. Don't do the same game plan as like Devontae Adams is out there.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
Rhino, were you aware that the Steelers Cowboys game is in a delay?
No, is it because we're on the show?
It should be because we're on the show. As a matter of fact, delay for weather.
Are they playing in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I just looked up and I still see highlights and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Anyway, the Broncos, this is a classic rivalry type of game that should have been closer, in like a closer game and a lower scoring game. And I think look, it's still early enough where like Antonio, I don't think Antonio Pierce is going to lose this team. I don't think that's the case. They just, I don't think they're playing very fundamental right now. It can't be. How could they be if they're losing games?
Michael Lombardi came out this week and made a comment about Max Crosby and Antonio Pierce are butting heads, and that Antonio Pierce has lost the team. Right. This is because Max Crosby sat out last week. Michael Lombardi can kiss my ass. I don't think Antonio Pierce he hasn't lost the team. You don't have a running back. You don't have a true number one receiver.
Yeah.
You don't have a quarterback. That's the score should be. It's 34-18. If you don't have all that, the offense, you're missing three key components. Good God. So
I think that's what he's referring to. Like you see like the leader, NFL Pro Bowl wide receiver Devontae Adams is now demanding his way out of the team. It sends a message or a signal that there's something wrong, that there's an issue going on there. And then it's easy now to then circle right back to the head coach because he's the one that's the real leader of the team, the one that doesn't play.
That's lazy. That's lazy thinking.
It is kind of lazy. You're right. And now that doesn't mean that he can't or doesn't have the ability to galvanize this team. No. But there are things that are working against him right now. Things that we weren't anticipating, or things that I think that we were kind of hopeful for in the preseason.
Yep.
We were hopeful that this defense was going to be stronger. We were hopeful that Zamir White was going to be a weapon for this team.
Yeah.
And we were hopeful that Gardner was going to be able to at least manage the offense to the tune of being able to distribute the ball to his all-pro wide receiver, to his now rookie tight end, this highly drafted tight end, so what, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. And now it's kind of unraveling. Again, that's not to say that they can't get it buttoned back up. Jaden Leskowski, I believe. How are you? Thank you for joining us today.
Please like and subscribe.
If I were to send ETN and either Brandon Ayuk or Higgins, who do you think I could get? If you were going to send Travis Etienne with BA or with Higgins, well, I mean, you're going to want another running back, right? You're going to want another running back. You're going to have to look for the team that's got, I guess a plentiful amount, if there is such a word for fantasy rosters, plentiful. Who do you think I could get? You're sending because you have the plentiful amount of wide receivers. Obviously, if you have Ayuk and Higgins, well, here's one running back who kind of had a down game today, but in that last 4-minute sequence, I think he caught like 3-4 balls from Geno Smith, and that's Kenny Walker.
Yeah.
So that might be a running back who kind of had a down game. He definitely had a down game compared to what he did last week. You might be able to entice your trade partner for Kenny Walker if he knew he was getting Brandon Ayuk.
I'd also say maybe if Jonathan Taylor's out there, see what their team looks like. If they're maybe weak at wide receiver, that'd be a good trade. If you're offering in and Ayuk or Higgins for Jonathan Taylor, I'd do it.
For sure, in a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
The only risk
is injury.
Like how long is this guy going to be out for? I don't think it's going to be that long.
No, it's just
I really don't.
Yeah.
What about Montgomery? Would you do it for Montgomery? Would you, if you were on the other side, you have David Montgomery and you need a wide receiver. You're hurting for a wide receiver.
I would do it.
Brandon Ayuk taking Travis Etienne, and I'll give him David Montgomery. You'll take Monty?
Uh-huh.
I think I would do it for Monty. Yep.
Yeah.
So you want to look at that, Jaden. Try to get Monty.
Even Gibbs too. Either one of those I'd do it for.
Yeah, I mean, if you could do it, if you could get Jahmyr Gibbs in this deal, sure. Absolutely. So yeah. But in terms of what would be a good fair deal, I think I would want to look for Kenny Walker. I would want to look for David Montgomery. Because look, in all honesty, in my opinion, and I think you'll go along and agree, Rhino, ETN is. I hope your league isn't listening, Jaden. Don't show him the video this one time. Don't show him. Show him every other time. I think Travis Etienne is losing this job, or it's just gonna be a running back by committee, and Tank Bigsby's got the lead in this committee.
Yeah, I agree.
Or okay, fine. Now that we mentioned Tank Bigsby, Jaden, your other scenario, your other option would be to try to obtain Tank, but I'm not suggesting to try to obtain Tank for Ayuk or Higgins.
No.
But that would be the alternative. You might as well get the Jacksonville backfield, and work off of it like that. But let's stick to the original plan. Monty or Kenny Walker, ETN, BA, do Higgins first. Because I would want to keep BA over Higgins. But if you could part with either or.
Yeah, I agree.
And speaking of Kenny Walker, we do have one final game. And this was a good game. And I cannot believe the Giants actually pulled it off. Can't believe it. I don't know. Like Seattle, I know they came off of a tough loss to the Lions last week. So it's kind of short rest, right? They played on Monday night, so it's short rest, but they are home The 12-man are home against the lonely ass no Malik Neighbors Giants.
No Malik Neighbors, exactly.
Well, Wandale said, "Hey, I'm still here." Wandelius, we like to call him
And Slayton had
Wandelius.
a pretty good game too. But I've never seen the numbers right.
Yeah, you're seeing the numbers.
Right.
You don't need to check your glasses. Believe me, you're seeing the numbers right. It's amazing. Tyrone Tracy stepped in for Devin Singletary. He did pretty solid.
Nine carries for 42 yards, something like that.
Fifth round rookie. 129 on 18 carries. Daniel Jones rushed, and we know he likes to do that a little bit nowadays. He rushed for 38. Yeah, the Giants played pretty good, man. Darius Slayton is not somebody we're picking up this week.
No.
He's not.
No fab money on him.
This was kind of flukish. I'm here to tell you that it is.
Yeah.
Wandale did add his 6 catches, 36 yards with the touchdown. Wandale's a good wide receiver that should be rostered, but definitely not Darius Slayton. And I think the Seahawks defense just collapsed.
Yeah.
They wound up collapsing.
But they seem to be they do that though. You know? And the Giants defense, they were making plays. They're making plays.
They did. They made a huge play.
Yeah.
Huge interception for a touchdown. Here's that Kenny Walker line. 7 catches, 57 yards. On the ground, not a good game at all. Not a good game for him nor Charbonnet, but still, we don't really care about Charbonnet. If Kenny Walker's healthy, Zach Charbonnet is his handcuff. Yeah. Jackson Smith and Jigba finally scored. But that saved the day for JSN. Other than that, it's a bad game. It's 4 catches for 31 yards.
Locker had a decent game again.
J Hang 20. Would you trade DK, Puka on IR, and ETN? Oh shit! Everyone wants to see. You see what see this right now? Everybody wants to get rid of ETN. The writing's on the wall.
Yeah. But that's a lot for AJ Brown, though.
Well, it's like 2.5 for 1.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 for 1.
AJ Brown coming back off a hammy injury.
Yeah. So Jay, could you try to get another piece in this deal? Other than that, these 3 players for just AJ Brown, we're presuming, just based on this question, that you've been starting ETN, unless you have somebody else on the bench that you could insert into your lineup along with AJ Brown that you are going to get. Then you can't afford. You can't afford that. You have to keep DK and ETN in the lineup.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
Plus, AJ Brown, DK's. I think DK and AJ Brown is kind of like a wash. Puka's gonna come back. The piece that's going down the tubes is really his running back here.
Yeah.
No, so if you want AJ Brown and you're willing to give up DK Metcalf and Puka Nacua, so the other manager is going to be, considering the fact that, I could get DK now. Puka's coming back. Yeah, all right, fine. Yeah, I'll give him AJ Brown right now if he's healthy at wide receiver. But it still may leave you flat if you're giving up 3 pieces. Who are you gonna? Who's filling in the rest of that roster right now? That's the $1 million question. AJ, so it's 3 for 1. If you could get another piece with AJ Brown, then it's probably a lot better for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
What else do we got, Rhino?
We got business circuit.
I like that business circuit. Of business.
Thank you for joining. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification that way you don't miss our DFS show on Fridays and our start and sits on Saturday nights. See, he's got 3 different. See, I also got smacked this week in fantasy. I'm going to be 3-2, so not too bad, but I think moves need to be made. A Cardinal stack with Kyler, Marvin, Connor, and McBride.
This is special.
Stack.
That you have the Cardinals offense.
Yeah. 8-man. Kyler, Mason, Henry, Debo.
Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
James Conner.
8
Bench.
What moves should I make?
Look, man, your team's stacked.
Oh yeah, and he also has Dak.
Your team is stacked. Circuit. 8-man, Kyler, Jordan Mason, Derrick Henry, Debo, Marvin, McBride,
Maybe
now perhaps might be the time that you would want to ship James Conner, see what you could get back for him. Puka's on IR, Wicks, A-Chain, Komet. Wicks and A-Chain. Look, Wicks might become expendable once Christian Watson returns, and we also have to see what Romeo Dobbs, what's happening with him. I don't know if I would really want to move Wicks either. I'm not sure if you can move A-Chain right now for anything good. I think if you're really looking to do if you're looking for the home run, I think your asset would be to break up one of these Cardinals.
Yeah. Not McBride.
Yeah.
Not McBride.
You break up one of these Cardinals. What did McBride do today?
6.
I saw it. Higgins scored though, correct? Elijah Higgins.
I don't know.
Higgins, Huggies. If you're a big Arizona fan, business, I only mean it in good love.
If he could maybe upgrade, commit.
Well, Komet's the backup, right?
Right, but if he can upgrade to a better backup, that way when McBride is on his bye week, then he's not losing too much because this is a pretty good damn team, man.
Businessman, you're pumping fire right now. If you're really looking to upgrade, and because I don't think that you could get much in return for Devon A-Chain at this time, I think that you're going to want to look to see what James Conner will yield in return. Yeah. That's it, my friend. That's it.
I'm a Pats fan. I have a bigger problem to start May.
I get it. We've got several Pats fans in our community that we are connected to, and they are just disgruntled. They're calling for Gerard Mayo's job already.
Yeah.
He just started. Oh boy, yeah. I get it. I feel you. What else do we got?
I think that's it.
Thank you, business. Appreciate you stopping by.
This
is a brand new channel, folks. Did you guys know that? This is a brand new channel that started 5 weeks ago. And we're working really hard, and we're going to be delivering you guys as the content through the roof with the plans that we have.
Yeah.
Content through the roof. And we really appreciate all of you being here. Is that it from I know the game is still delayed.
Yeah.
I know our friend is now nervously waiting on Najee Harris. This could work. No, actually. I was gonna say this could work in his favor even more. That there's more time. That there's more time.
One more question, then we'll. One of my league mates has no RBs, but has CD and Nico. Should I try offering him Connor and Marvin for Nico?
Marvin!
And maybe snag Evans? God, yeah.
One of my league mates has no running backs, but has CD.
And Nico. Now Nico tweaked his hammy today. So if he can get CD, especially it's either him or Ferguson are getting the catches right now, or try to snag Evans. Evans is I stay away from Nico right now
Now remember,
until until you know how bad he's injured.
So again, though, 18, and you're starting how many? 2 wide receivers or 3? He still has Debo, Marvin Harrison, JMO. I mean, on the benches, Xavier. Puka's on IR. Again, this is the luxuries of an 8-team league. I wouldn't mind trying to get Nico. Yeah, you're gonna run into a really good problem a little bit down the road, right? You're gonna run into shit. Okay, am I starting Nico Collins and Puka? Am I starting Debo and Marvin? You're gonna run into some really, really good problems, and you're gonna be running into, which is a good thing, by the way. Sit questions on which wide receivers to start. Of course, which running backs as well. We have you covered. Whenever you're ready, we're ready. Go ahead. I think you make that deal. I mean, when I say I think you make that deal, I wouldn't mind trying to obtain Nico at this point. I think CD's.
But if he's hurt,
I don't think he's not. Well, again, you're not trading. Well, okay, if he's got a torn hamstring, then obviously and the deal is off. If he's got a pull. Yeah, obviously, don't do anything until we find out, by probably tomorrow what the situation is with his hammy. If it's like he just pulled up lame, they wanted to be cautious and not put him back out there right away. Then yeah, I mean, shit, this could be like a day-to-day situation. If it's more serious, like a strain, like what happened with Jefferson last year, then yeah, okay, fine. Then that's going to be like an IR stint. Then you're not doing it.
Wait to see.
You have to wait.
Wait to see. And Noah, anybody wants to know what I do with ETN? That is $1 million question right now. It's if you could trade them and get a piece, then trade them. Especially if you have strong running backs, other running backs, then trade them. Trade them.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do right now is to have him included in the package. He has to be part of the package. I don't think anyone's really going to take ETN 1-for-1 at this point. Not right now.
He is playing injured. He's the last 2 weeks he's been.
He played a full game today. He's fine.
But he can still be fine, but be injured.
Okay.
They're not pussies out there. They get shot up with the.
but on the flip side to that, his production's gone down. So then who's winning? Well, the Jaguars just won. The Jaguars won today.
And Bigsby's out producing them, yeah.
So he may. You're right. No, I take that back. He could very well be playing strong. I mean, like healthy, but something could be wrong with his body somewhere. I know that didn't make sense either. He could be playing it with an injury. He could be trying to play it out, gut it out. Well, it's not that severe, but it is affecting him. It's absolutely affecting him one way or another.
All right. No, do not move Mason.
Let's not forget this, Rhino, and we'll go on this note. Doug Peterson told us this. He told us this in the preseason,
right?
And all off season that he needed to get, that they had to get, that they wanted to get.
Tank involved.
Bigsby involved. Well, you got what you wanted.
Yep.
Now we're seeing it.
Yep.
And we may be seeing a better player. Maybe. That's it.
Yeah. So business cricket do not move Mason.
On that note, business, everybody, appreciate you very much for coming in this evening, for joining us here on the Week 5 recap show up on the Patrick Pucci Fantasy Show channel. Rhino, take us home.
Hey, appreciate everybody coming. Be good humans. Be the difference and make a difference in your own life and somebody else's life. And just have a blessed week. All right?
See you in week 6.
Yep. Oh, still alive.
Boy, this is not